Good afternoon, you all. So today, once again, we are here to discuss MCQ type question that will be based on true and false. There will be total 30 true and false. Okay, so we will begin from question number 1. A democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. Whether it's true or false, just think and answer. You just take time, 2 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Answer. You might have got the answer, so let me disclose it. Okay, it's true, and I hope most of you have done the answer correctly. So next, move to the next question. Every government in contemporary world wants to be called a democracy. Once again, every government in contemporary world wants to be called a democracy, even if it is not so. कहने का मतलब समझिए कि कंटेम्पररी वर्ल्ड मीन्स प्रेजेंट का जो वर्ल्ड जो है, ठीक है, तो प्रेजेंट का वर्ल्ड में कोई भी कंट्री डेमोक्रेटिक न होते हुए भी वो चाहते हैं कि अपने आप को डेमोक्रेटिक कहना चाहते हैं, ठीक है, अपने आप को डेमोक्रेटिक कहते हैं, ठीक है, तो ऐसा ही वर्ड को सुनना वो चाहते हैं। दैट मीन्स दुनिया का लोग उनको कहे कि वो डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री है। क्या ये सही है या नहीं है? कोई भी कंट्री चाहता होगा कि हमारा यहाँ डिक्टेटरशिप चलता है? तो जस्ट थिंक एंड आंसर. काउंटिंग बिगिंस. 1, 2, 3. डिस्क्लोज द आंसर. ओके, ट्रू. दैट मीन्स कौन चाहेगा कि हम डिक्टेटोरियल कंट्री है बोल करके? कोई कंट्री होगा डिक्टेटोरियल होते हुए भी अपने आप को कहना चाहते हैं कि हम डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री है, हम तो लोगों को अधिकार देते हैं कि नहीं. ओके, सो it was true. Now question number 3. In Pakistan, General Pervez Musharraf led a military coup in November 1998. November 1998. General Pervez Musharraf. Date you remember? 1998. क्या 1998 में हुआ था? Just think and answer. 98 में हुआ था तो 99 में हुआ था? Just think and answer. Now counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Now disclose the answer. Okay, false. That means it was in 1999, I think. Okay. Now question number 4. General Pervez Musharraf later changed his designation to president and in 2004 held a referendum in the country that granted him a 5-year extension. Once again, General Pervez Musharraf later changed his designation to president and in 2004 held a referendum in the country that granted him a 5-year extension. तो रेफरेंडम 2004 में करवाया था या 2002 में कराए थे? जस्ट थिंक. ओके, जस्ट थिंक एंड आंसर. 1, 2, 3. नाउ लेट मी डिस्क्लोज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन. Okay, false. That means I think it was conducted in 2002, isn't it? So question number 5. Syria is a small East Asian country. East Asian country. Asian is correct, Syria, but whether it is in east or west, whether it is in east or west, you just think, you can go through the map. Okay, whether it is in east or west, you just think and you answer. Now counting begins. 1, 2, 3. It's false. That means it should be west. Now question number 6. According to legal framework order, the President of Pakistan can dismiss the national or provincial assemblies. According to the legal framework order, President of Pakistan can dismiss the national or provincial assemblies. I think might be correct. I don't know, I might be wrong, no? So just counting begins. You think and answer. 1, 2, 3. Disclose the answer. Okay, it's true. Now another question. 7. The work of the civilian cabinet is supervised by National Security Council, which is dominated by military officers. Work of the civilian cabinet, that means we are talking about Pakistan under General Pervez Musharraf. Okay, work of the civilian cabinet is supervised by National Security Council, which is dominated by military officer. Might be correct, might be wrong. Okay, just you think, just you recall the topics which we discussed and you answer. Now counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Disclose the answer. Okay, you are true. Now 8 number. In democracy, the final decision-making power rests with the people. In a democracy, the final decision-making power rests with the people. Okay, final decision-making power rests with the people. Rest with the people, or final decision-making power rests with the leader elected by the people. What could be the correct answer? Just you think. In a democracy, final decision-making power rests with the people, whether it is with the people or the leader elected by the people. Okay, just you think and answer. 1, 2, 3. Disclose the answer. Okay, false. Now 9 number. In China, elections are held after every 6 years for the electing the parliament. In China, elections are held after every 6 years for the electing the parliament. 6 years or 5 years, just think. Okay, and answer whether it is correct or not. Okay, now counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Okay, disclose the answer. Okay, false. Now 10 number. The National People's Congress of China. The National People's Congress of China doesn't have the power to appoint the president of the country. National People's Congress of China doesn't have the power to appoint the president of country. Whether the National People's Congress of China had the power to appoint the president or not, just recall and take 3 seconds. Okay, now counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Okay, disclose the answer. Okay, false. Now 11. Before contesting election, a candidate in China needs the approval of the Chinese Communist Party. Before contesting election, a candidate in China needs the approval of the Chinese Communist Party. True? I think. So counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Disclose the answer. Okay, true. Question number 10. If there is confusion, let me know. Okay. 12. Since its independence in 1930, Mexico holds elections after every 6 years to elect its president. Since its independence in 1930, Mexico holds election after every 6 years. After every 6 years. Okay, just recall whether you are correct or not. Just recall. Okay, now counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Disclose the answer. Okay, true. Now 13. Until 2005, every election in Mexico was won by a party called PRI. Until 2005. Just see here the date. Okay, until 2005, every election in Mexico was won by party called PRI. Okay, every election in Mexico was won by a party called PRI. It's correct, I think, but if there is wrong, then it can be there in the date until 2005, but in book the date might be different, I think. Okay, so that can be the point. Okay, just think, recall and answer. Okay, just take time. Okay, now counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Disclose the answer. False. That means until 2000, I think. Okay, so 14 number, the PRI was known to indulge many dirty tricks to win election. PRI was known to indulge many dirty tricks to win elections. True? Okay, counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Disclose the answer. True. Good. 15 number, in Saudi Arabia, women have the right to vote. Women have the right to vote. In Saudi Arabia, women have the right to vote. Okay. Just counting begin. 1, 2, 3. Start. Okay. Answer perhaps you already knew, right? Now 16. Democracy is based on a fundamental principle of political equality. Democracy is based on a fundamental principle of political equality. That means in democracy there is political equality. Okay, might be correct. I might be wrong. But you think and tell me the correct answer. Okay, counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Disclose the answer. Okay, true. In a democracy, each adult citizen must have one vote and each must have one value. One vote and one value, whether you are correct or not. Okay, just say whether true or false. Now counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Okay, disclose the answer. Okay, you are correct. Now 18. Zimbabwe attained independence from white minority rule in 1985. Zimbabwe attained independence from white minority rule in 1985. 1985. Just recall and recall. 1985. Okay, now counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Disclose the answer. Okay, false. I think it might be 1980. Now 19th question. Since 1985, Zimbabwe has been ruled by ZANU-PF, the party that led the freedom struggle. ZANU-PF. 1985. Since 1985. Okay, just take 3 seconds and answer me true or false. 1, 2, 3. Now disclose the answer. Okay, false. Question number 20. A democratic government cannot do whatever it likes simply because it has won an election. A democratic country cannot do whatever it likes simply because it has won an election. I might be correct. जो डेमोक्रेटिकली इलेक्टेड गवर्नमेंट जो होता है कि उनको लोगों ने चुने हैं, वो इलेक्शन जीते हैं ये बोल करके क्या वो जैसा चाहता है, जो भी चाहे, जो जैसा चाहे वैसा कर सकते हैं क्या? ओके, यू जस्ट टेक टाइम. सो 3 seconds and counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Okay, disclose the answer. True. That means जैसा चाहे वैसा नहीं ना कर सकते, अपना मोनोपोली नहीं ना कर सकते, है ना? Okay. A democratic government rules within limits set by constitutional law and citizens' right. A democratic government rules within limits set by constitutional law and citizens' rights. I might be correct, I might be wrong, but you say whether it's true or false. You just take time. 2 seconds. Okay, counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Disclose the answer. True. Now 22. In democracy, rulers elected by the people cannot take all the major decisions. In democracy, rulers elected by the people cannot take all the major decisions. Is it so? Okay, just think. Just think and say whether it's true or false. Okay, counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Disclose the answer. False. Now 23. In democracy, election offer a choice and fair opportunity to the people to change the current rulers. In democracy, elections offer a choice and fair opportunity to the people to change the current rulers. To change the current rulers. Okay, just think. Okay, understand the question and answer. Now counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Disclose the answer. Okay, true. दैट मीन्स डेमोक्रेसी में जो है, जो करेंट में जो गवर्नमेंट जो है उसको भी चेंज करने का, जो इलेक्शन जो है हम लोग उसको भी चेंज करने का अपॉर्चुनिटी देता है ना. अगर नहीं ऐसा देता है तो जो गवर्नमेंट जो एक बार बन गया तो फिर वो तो कभी चेंज ही नहीं होगा. ओके, नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट 24. डेमोक्रेसी ऑल्सो लीड्स टू इनस्टेबिलिटी. हाँ, डेमोक्रेसी का अगेंस्ट में हम लोग कुछ पॉइंट्स वगैरह डिस्कस किए थे, उसको रिकॉल कीजिए. डेमोक्रेसी ऑल्सो लीड टू इनस्टेबिलिटी. Might be correct, might be wrong, but you think and you think wisely and answer wisely. Okay, whether it's true or false. Just you recall the argument against democracy or the demerits of democracy. Okay, counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Disclose the answer. Yes, true. 25. In democracy, many people have to be consulted, thus it leads to delays. In democracy, many people have to be consulted, thus it leads to delays. Just you recall the argument against democracy and answer thoughtfully. Okay, now counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Disclose the answer. Okay, true. Now 26. Democracy cannot lead to corruption, for it is based on electoral competition. Once again, properly understand the question. Democracy cannot lead to corruption, for it is based on electoral competition. डेमोक्रेसी में करप्शन होगा ही नहीं, क्योंकि डेमोक्रेसी जो है, डेमोक्रेसी में जो गवर्नमेंट जो है एक इलेक्टोरल कंपटीशन के जरिए बनाए बोल रहे, तो करप्शन नहीं होता है ना. और करप्शन तो नहीं हो रहा है इंडिया में, न्यूज़ में तो नहीं आ रहा है ना करप्शन का. Just you think thoughtfully and answer whether it's true or false. Now counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Okay, false है ना. डेमोक्रेसी होने का मतलब ये थोड़ी है कि करप्शन नहीं होगा. Okay, now 27. China. Okay, leave this question. 28. A democratic government is a better government because it is more accountable form of government. Democratic government is a better government because it is a more accountable form of government. More accountable, more responsible. Might be right, might be wrong. Just you think logically and answer whether it's true or false. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Disclose the answer. True. 29. In a diverse country like India, democracy keeps our country together. In a diverse country like India, democracy keeps our country together. Okay, might be correct. Just think logically and answer. 1, 2, 3. Disclose the answer. Correct, true. Now 30. Democracy doesn't enhance the dignity of citizen. Democracy doesn't enhance the dignity of citizen. What do you think? Whether it enhances the dignity of citizen or not. Okay, counting begins. 1, 2, 3. Disclose the answer. Okay, democracy enhance करता है ना, तो इसीलिए false हो गया. Okay, this much for today, and tomorrow let me see whether there are any question MCQ type in this chapter. If not, then we will be discussing economics or geography. Okay, next day. Okay, thank you, bye bye.